Welcome to Sips with Scrubs, a nurse podcast where we talk about the good, bad, and ugly of being a nurse. Today, I am joined with two special guests. So this is your first time meeting Sarah and Numa. She's been here before, a couple of times before, so they'll be joining us for today's episode. We're going to be sipping on Fire Island. So this is the cocktail that Kelsey and I tried on our episode, but I tweaked it a little bit, so hopefully it's better, because when we had it the last time, it was like too much passion fruit. So it's like super sweet.
What's the liquor in it?
It's vanilla vodka. The whip shot has some, it's vodka based too. And then what else? Some champagne, and I think that's it, because the rest is like passion fruit, lime, and syrup, vanilla syrup.
Sounds so good.
Yeah, so hopefully the passion fruit is not like how it was the first time, because like it was so sweet. I was like, I never thought I'd say that about a drink, because normally I like my drink sweet. So let's see how it tastes this time. I'm scared again. It's still sweet.
I like it.
It's sweet, but it's good. I guess it'll taste like the alcohol. But I can't tell if I'm tasting the
whipped cream.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as sweet as the first time I had it, but it's still pretty sweet. That's crazy. Passion fruit is that strong.
But it's good.
Yeah, it really is.
What? Even Sarah likes it?
What? I like drinking. I mean, never mind. Forget what it's...
So I'm going to let y'all introduce yourself, just in case we have some new listeners for Numa. And then Sarah, they haven't met you before. So just tell them about yourself, how long you've been a nurse, and kind of like a brief rundown of your nursing journey.
Okay. Well, my name is Sarah. I've been a nurse for about 15 months. I can't even believe when I say that. I feel like I had just graduated yesterday.
You count the months?
She did just graduate yesterday.
15 months? Wait, you've been a nurse for 15 months? Mm-hmm. It's already been a year?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know, that's right? What I'm saying. It's so crazy, because I remember when I was telling nursing school. Anyway, yeah, I've been a nurse for 15 months, and it's such an awesome and crazy journey, and I can't wait to have more awesome and crazy journeys, so yay. What?
My name is Numa. I've been on here before. I've been a nurse for 3.5 years now, and I'm in my master's program trying to be an NP, so I'm going to school and working at the same time.
Woo woo.
Yep.
I can't believe Sarah's 15 months. It doesn't sound right.
No,
because she's been with us forever as a PCA, so it's hard to tell too for me.
I feel like I don't believe it. I'm like, okay.
Well, I started working when did I start working? Before my birthday. My birthday's in August. Either my birthday or before. But I've been a nurse about a year, because you can't graduate if you haven't been a year. So
and residency grad is like what, like 14, 15? It's like a weird number.
Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't even realize that, but I think I guess time has passed a lot anyway, because I've been doing folk pool since March.
Oh yeah.
So that's crazy.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, so that's what, 9 months?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow, time just goes by too fast.
This year did.
Yeah, so today's bad scrub is going to be Ben Aquino, so one of our fellow co-workers. Not really.
Yeah, we don't know him.
We don't know that guy. So on October 4th, he's an employee at our hospital, and they found a recording device in the employee-only bathroom in the hospital. So detectives identified that it was him, Ben Aquino, and he was a suspect. I think that's crazy. But he was arrested on November 2nd and charged with invasive visual recording, and that's a state jail felony offense. So he was held in the Fort Bend County Jail on a $25,000 bond. How did somebody discover that it's a camera?
That's what I was trying to figure. I don't know.
So our manager mentioned it once, and she was just bringing it up, and she goes, I can't say much, but I've heard that one of the housekeeping staff noticed when she was cleaning up the restroom, she was like, oh, that looks like a camera, it looks like a recording device. And then she kind of told her supervisor, boss, whoever, and they came and they looked into it, and they realized yeah, this is a camera. But then I don't know how they figured out that it was him.
Where was
it? It was in a staff. So you know how we have the staff only bathroom, not a patient's room.
Yeah,
it was one of those.
Oh Lord.
I wonder how they thought. Maybe I wonder if they really did how they do on the TV shows, and they'd be let's see who, let's pull up the receipts,
watch the thing from the beginning,
yeah, exactly that. Or if they're okay, let's Well, no, because then why would you wouldn't be looking at somebody's purchase history if they're not already a suspect, right? So I'm like, I don't know how this real crime stuff works.
Yeah.
Where did he hide it though in the bathroom? Like, was it
That I don't know.
That is so weird.
I wonder if it was like angling towards the toilet, or is it like on the mirror?
Rumor said like it was on the toilet, so like when you pee
on the toilet.
That's what I heard, but it may be fake news.
How would you hear that?
Oh, what's her name? Someone told me that, but again, it's just gossip. Nobody knows.
I mean, yeah, no one. Yeah, all we know for sure is that it was him. He was an employee.
Yeah.
It was in the staff restroom.
But it wasn't on our restroom because if you were on the floor where he worked, they would have contacted you.
Yeah, they did a whole.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's no way legally they can't just.
Find it and not tell anybody.
Yeah, there's recordings of us possibly.
So what happens with the people that like they were recorded? Do they get money for something? Like what is that? They can sue him, I guess.
Yeah, what if you try?
He's broke though,
right? So what would you do then? That's just weird.
But doesn't our company like that we work for also have a right to protect us?
Oh, can you sue Methodists then?
Like, you really make money.
Yeah,
right?
I'm trying to see. I'm like, how does that work?
I'm sure they have a standby lawyer.
There's something happening. I'm sure they like on the hush took
take
care
it.
of the people on that floor.
I feel like probably got some type of compensation.
I'm kind of like, dang, could he have recorded me? He's like,
retire early.
I'm so traumatized, you know.
I know. I can't come to work now and focus on the patients. I'm just so scared.
Quick little payday.
For real.
So next I got an advice question for y'all to see what y'all would do. So this nurse wrote in, she picked up a shift for $400 bonus and another nurse asked her to split it. I said no. She went on in text about how there is no teamwork. Hope she is upset I didn't switch shifts with her. I'm reading this verbatim, so if this don't make sense, okay, that's how she typed it. She then told me she would call the office and tell them she will do the shift for $200 to get the shift from me. I don't know, this just sounds weird. I've been here over 3 years and never heard of this. Didn't see a note regarding it or heard it being done to another nurse. I've expressed to the CNO how this is making a hostile work environment because the girl basically threatened my shift because I wouldn't give her half the shift. This lady was allowed to call me names in front of the supervisor and the CNO who was on the phone at the time. She was only told to stop because I finally replied, "You're just upset because your husband is cheating." And she says, is this something I should seek legal advice about or just let it go? I don't know. This doesn't even make sense to me.
I'm really confused. Yeah. So like, it's basically like my manager texts me saying, "Hey, we're super, super short. We're willing to give you an extra $400 to come in." I say yes. And then out of nowhere, Sarah's like, "I'm going to do 6 hours. You do 6 and we take half and half."
That's what I'm like.
First of all, that's stupid. That no one does that.
I know.
And second of all, like they came to me for this extra shift offer, so you're not entitled to it
at all. And why would you be asking your coworker to split it with you? She already agreed to the entire 12-hour shifts.
I don't know. That whole thing is weird. So I'm like, what legal advice would you be seeking? Because I'm like, how is this even a thing? Like, you can't just make me give you my shift
and my money,
or split it, or anything.
Yeah, or my money. It's coming straight to my bank account. So how is this ever even an issue?
Yeah,
this whole thing is weird to me. I have heard about people splitting it, like as far as like. Because they used to ask me and Kelsey this, "Oh, can you come in for the first half of the shift?" And then she'll like, so that they could just get somebody. Because we were like, "Well, I don't want to pick up." And they're like, "Okay, well, it'll be okay if you do half and then she does like half or whatever." And then that would make sense. That's not my dealings to do the money part of it though.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like the manager asked her to split the shift. She seems like she's the one asking to split the shift. So it's a little confusing. That's
what it made it seem like. It made it seem like how Numa said, like she was gonna pick up a shift and you're coming to her and being like, "We're gonna split the shift,"
which is ridiculous.
And then demanding that
half of it too.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. So how would y'all like handle this? And then on top of that, she's saying like it's that issue, and the girl then called her out her name, and like the CNO and the other people didn't really reprimand her for it. Sound like
it is a crazy situation, but on the same time, it's laughable because nobody's gonna come to me and be like, "Hey, give me $200." It's funny. I'm gonna laugh because you can't take money from me. But I think she should go to. Well, she said the CNO didn't do anything, but I would go to HR and be like, "This is a violent working condition. You know, I feel threatened or whatever," and see what they're gonna do about it.
I think I do the same thing.
I mean, the other nurse can run her little mouth because she's not getting my money. That's
Right.
fine. But it's the fact that now the CNO and whoever else are just standing there listening to it and not stepping up the way they should be.
Yeah.
That's what pissed me off even more.
Same.
I think so too,
Yeah.
because I'm like that. It doesn't even make sense. Like you said, it's laughable because it's like, how are you going to take money from me when I already agreed to this shift? That whole part doesn't make sense to me. But like Numa said, I think more for me it'd be the fact that like, oh, y'all are hearing her, and now she's calling me like names.
Yeah. and
It's
that's
like
not it.
it's like, how did we get to this point? Just pick up another shift. Like
yeah.
I don't understand. Yeah, but I definitely would do like Sarah, just like contact HR. I'm like, who has time for this?
Right? We're adults here. Like,
Are we?
not all of us, apparently. Speak for half of it, $200. Some people are so funny.
Just for an extra $200?
That's not. She's acting like it's thousands.
I don't know, just odd. Okay, so who wants to pick up the first conversation card?
I'll pick it up. Just one of these.
Yeah.
This is- What made you get into nursing?
Oh my gosh, that's like basic interview questions.
Okay, the quick short answer is my little sister, but then also on the other side of it too, looking at it, it's like I'm never gonna not have a job. I'm never gonna not make money. I can grow in nursing. Like the reason why I picked nursing over something else in healthcare was because I could do so many different things if I got bored.
Gotcha.
Rather than like if I was like an RT, I'm stuck like suctioning my whole life.
Not stuck suctioning.
Not suctioning for
So yeah, that's a quick short answer to that.
I was trying to look for the big one because I want to take one of these. I don't know where I put it at.
Yeah, let's see it.
You want to answer that, Sarah? Or yours is kind of similar.
It is similar actually. It's mine, but it's not my sister. Mine was my grandma. And then you're right. You can never go without a job, and you have job security. And you can do whatever you want. You can also branch out and figure out what you want to do. But yeah, it's similar to hers.
Okay, you do one now.
Okay.
Do you want to try it first since last time?
Is it
you put
gonna not work like last time?
I think it should work. Remember, I think Kelsey or me was able to get some of it. It's just that it wasn't enough for two. I was gonna say, don't do too much because it's thick.
That's good.
I like it.
Like you can taste it, but you can like barely taste it. So I could eat a lot of that and not realize.
Is that the one you
Yeah, so this is what's on top of our drink.
Gotcha. Can I read it? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
How do you connect with your patients? Okay. For me, whenever I go in the morning, I try to introduce myself and then try to find a familiar or level ground. Like, hey, what's going on? I see that they're watching TV. Oh, I like this show. And then we start conversing, try to make them a little more comfortable because I know most of the patients are already upset in the hospital when they come. Sometimes they come really hostile to me, but.
Yeah, just interrupt her.
I didn't think it would be that loud.
No, you're fine. But yeah, also I just try to make conversations, and sometimes, most of the time it works out, and then, we're familiar with each other. I come make jokes, and they're like, oh, how are you doing? Whatever. Have you had lunch yet? And then, I think that's just how I make my day with my patients, and my day better too, because, it's a long 12 hours. They're tired, I can get tired, but make both our days good.
How do y'all connect with people who are considered to be difficult? Or do y'all just be like,
I try, and if I can't, then I don't.
Same.
I'm not gonna waste my energy.
Yeah,
I'm here to take care of you, but I'm not here to be your friend. So I'm not gonna put my energy into that it's like whatever.
If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work
Yeah.
out. I don't have to sit here and laugh at your not so funny jokes.
I'm screaming.
No, because sometimes I laugh to make them feel better. I'm like, okay, you know what? It's the thought that counts. It had potential to be funny, so I'm gonna laugh.
Sarah, you're so nice because I'm not laughing. I just be looking at them like, okay, see you in another hour. I'm like, what the hell?
No, sometimes, especially if they don't have any family visiting, I'm just like, you know what? Let me just laugh. That's the least I can do. So I laugh at the jokes. Sometimes it bites me in the ass because sometimes they want to keep telling me jokes. I'm like, damn, I shouldn't have opened that door.
They're like, oh, she's cool. She's gonna laugh at all my damn jokes.
I know. They're just like 12 hours. Like my jaw's hurting because I'm just like fake laughing at all these jokes, and I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. But hey, at least they feel better. Just I'd extend
Way to go.
Go, Sarah. You're so much better
Better
than
than
me.
the two of us.
No, because I'm fairly new. Maybe when I get older and nursing, I'll be like, you know what?
No, I don't think I was ever like that. That's
No?
just, I think it just might be a personality difference.
I can't fake laugh. I can't.
Really?
I can't,
Oh,
fake,
no.
I can't fake it.
I can't.
No, because even poor Jordan, he'll try to tell me a joke, and I'm just like,
Damn, the support. Come on now.
and then if I do laugh, I'm like, this shit is so fake. Like I can't tell. Like I'm just like, ha. Like, so I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? I feel like I can tell it's fake. You can tell it's fake. So I should just
Might
not
as
do
well
it.
not, yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I could just be like, I need to do better. I need to be nicer. Like, oh, you know, that was funny. Maybe I could say something like that instead of like actually trying to like laugh out loud.
You can just good try, babe. Good try.
That might be worse. Would it not be worse than just like staring at somebody like?
Sometimes people say LOL. I'm like, come on now. What is LOL?
Like they say it out loud.
Mm-hmm.
I do that sometimes. I'd be like,
But in a
LOL,
sarcastic way.
all caps.
Not all caps.
All
stop.
caps. I mean, I just am not gonna do it. So I kind of wanted to talk to y'all about how did y'all like balance being in school. Now you're still currently in school, and then Sarah, she told y'all before, she was in school while she was trying to become a nurse. How did that work out for y'all, and what did y'all do to balance it? Because I didn't actually personally experience that. I was working, but it was not. I guess you were PRN, right?
No, it's part time.
Oh, you were part
I had to
time.
work twice a week every week.
Okay, I think when I was in school, I had a job, but it was like tutoring, so it was nothing serious. Like
Yeah.
I could come and go, and I knew the person who was over it, so they all knew like I was in school, so they were just like whatever.
Okay.
I think I didn't even do like 20 hours a week.
Oh.
Yeah. So how is it going for y'all, and do y'all have like any advice for people who are in a similar situation?
You wanna go?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think being in a master's program is different than being in like nursing, like bachelor's, because that's a lot more like time consuming. That's full time. That's like in person. So I feel like that's a lot harder to manage. But yeah, I'm working full time and then I'm going to school part time. So it's like switched from what you did.
Oh, you're going part time?
Yeah, I'm doing it part time. And it's mostly offered part time too, because a lot of people are working. Yeah. So it's more so about kind of like balancing my schedule at this point, because I'm working, I'm going to clinicals, and then like in the middle of all that trying to like study and whatnot. So it's basically like, you know, working out my work schedule and then whatever days I have off, going to clinical. So it's a lot of just like time management. And then I'm lucky that our manager is like super lenient, because I can ask her for like, hey, can I just get 2 weeks PTO and knock out my hours? So that helps too.
Is she lenient, or does she just like you? Because I think it might be. Y'all are butts.
Whatever it is, I don't care.
Y'all are
butts. I know.
Y'all are butts.
I'm getting advantage. But it can sometimes get like really like overwhelming. Like I feel like I'm burnt out when I feel like I don't have a day where I can go like hang out with my friends, or I have like a full day off, even just to do nothing, to sit at home and like not use my brain. But I think just remembering that like it's eventually gonna end is the main part.
When do you finish?
In May.
Okay.
Next year? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have a graduation party.
I know.
We're always having parties, I feel like. It's
Right.
so many
I'm
of
here for
us.
it. I'm here for it.
It's so many of us. Oh, y'all, for those who don't know, they're part of the girls too. The fact that Faith named us, I'm like,
It's like a thing
it's a
now.
thing.
It
Yeah,
is.
we're a thing. But I don't know, Numa. I don't know. Well, I think if I wanted to do it, I could do it. But I'm like, I feel like working full time and going to school part time is a lot.
Trust
And
me,
I
you
feel
could
like
do it. In the beginning,
I feel like you still like hang out with people, and
I
you like
I absolutely
you do
make that a
things.
priority too. I know people will just be like, whatever. No, like I have my social life has to also be up there next to school and work.
No, my social life was in the I had no
I
social
have to.
life.
Yeah, because I'm like, she be outside this like we be
I know she'd
outside.
be outside. I'm like, girl, don't you have homework?
And she works full time. That's what I'm like, okay, but at least I guess full time for us is like 3 days a week.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, all right. But wasn't at one point you were working overtime and stuff too?
Yeah, I'll still do overtime.
See, that's why I'm like, eh.
Wow.
I'm like, it doesn't seem like I want to do that.
Well, she said it's part time, so I feel like maybe it's less. I don't know. I can't.
I do know it.
speak to
Like it's hard in the beginning when you go from having your 4 days off with no extra responsibilities to then jump into school. But then once you're in it, it's just like, okay, like I'm used to this
becomes
routine
your
now.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like normal for you.
Yeah.
Imagine like when you finish with school and then you have like nothing.
That's what I'm already worried about that because I was like, I think I'm gonna go crazy. I think I'm gonna go for my PhD. We'll see.
I'm like, that's gonna be a lot of free time, like in comparison to like now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Even now when I have like a day off, I'm like losing my mind.
Really?
Yeah.
I love my days off. Anyway, for me, oh my goodness, it was a lot. I had no social life. The fact that you're able to balance that, I couldn't balance anything. And I only had to work like Sunday, Monday, or Saturday, Sunday, just because I need to get my 2 days out. And then right back, I'm back to class, I'm back to clinicals. It was brutal. I can't even give like a specific advice on how I did it, but I just know that I did it. Obviously, there's days where I'm just like, FML, like I don't want to do this anymore. But somehow I did it. I would say I was very sleep deprived. No social life. I did not hang out with my friends. Oh, can we do this? I can't. Can we do this? I can't. And then I'm awake till like 4 a.m. I have to be at class at 6 o'clock, especially like with the assignments, the stupid care plans. It was a lot, but I'm so glad I did it. You know, when I graduated, I was like, oh my gosh, I did it. But I did it. So, I mean, you can do it, but it's a lot of work. I don't know. I can't really give you a specific advice. I would just say, you know, for sure your social life is going to be gone. If you're in a relationship, it may cause a little bit of, you know, rough balance, but, you know, you can hold it down. But I wouldn't say you should work full time while you're in nursing school though. If you can, if you don't have to work, don't work. But you know, if you need to work, part time is probably the best. Or PRN, which you don't have to have specific hours every week.
I think PRN would probably be
the best.
I do think her situation's a lot harder.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask Numa, since you've been through both schools, or you're still going through NP, but you feel like BSN was harder than like...
No, I'm saying this working and going to school, I'd rather do that with my master's than my bachelor's. Like I said, that's full time. Like I remember I didn't even have a social life when I was just going to school. So I don't know how you did it with like school and work. Like that whole set of situations is harder than this set.
I agree. And I think I was doing it too because, well, before I became a PC, I was trying to, you know, get my foot in because I was a transporter before. So I saw that they had this job opening on Fort Brothers. It was a new floor. So I was like, oh, I'm going to talk to the manager. You know, I'm trying to get my feet in whenever I graduate. You know, Lisa was really nice. So I spoke to her and then I told her I was in nursing school. I'm going to be part-time. I cannot pick up extra shifts. I can't do this or that. And here and there, I'll take PTO to take 1 day off. But, you know, I was doing it. Also, they had, like, tuition reimbursement. And I went to private school, and it was not cheap at all. So that really helped, too. So I was doing it for that and the benefits that came with part-time. Because if I was going to be PRN, I wouldn't have that.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of had to do part-time
to
get all the benefits. So you don't get tuition reimbursement with PRN?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. Part-time is less money. Full-time is, I forgot how much it is, but full-time is more
Full-time, it's $4,000. Part-time is $2,000.
Yeah.
Like apply to school?
Yeah.
A semester?
I don't remember.
For the year.
It's something.
Better than nothing, of course.
I know,
Obviously,
It helped out with the books, because those books were not cheap at all.
You didn't need to buy any of them.
I believe you. I know. They made us buy it, especially with the ATI. We had to pay $550.
They gave this to us for free.
What?
Mine was $550 every semester.
That's insane.
It is insane. That's
what you get for going private.
I know that's still the only bad thing about private schools. It's like it's more expensive. But I feel like private schools is more like personable, I guess, because it's smaller. Yours is small?
Yeah. I'm to HBU.
Yeah. I don't know. So you think it's way more manageable now, Numa doing the master's than the bachelor's?
Yeah, because also like the material that you're learning, like it was all brand new when you're in. This is stuff you know, just building upon it and then learning. Okay, yeah, obviously like diagnosis and like, you know, medical management and then medications, dosages. That's just new, but it's not so insanely new, right? It's just like a matter of learning, like putting everything together.
Did they have you doing care plans?
Hell no.
I wonder too if it'd be different if you were getting a master's in something else.
Like education or something?
Yeah, or informatics or something like that.
I mean, I don't even know how those get set up for that, so I
feel like you would do lots of papers and writing.
I feel like so. I feel the same.
I hated writing.
I feel like with MP, it is relatable because you've seen the stuff on the floor.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, okay, I've been through that.
And then when I go back to work and then I'm like thinking through, I'm like, oh, I know why they did this.
Yeah. Do you, how many years of a nurse were you when you started?
2.
2? Do you feel like, is it the requirement 2 or 1?
Requirement was 2.
For experience?
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was 1.
It depends on where you go.
Okay. Well, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like 1 is like not enough? Like 1 year of experience
Yeah, that's not enough.
before you?
But
feel like
I mean, I don't
just
think
now-
it depends on the person. I mean, even 5 years could not be enough for someone. We know people like that. So
Yikes.
Shots fired.
it's just like it's just like different for everyone. You
That's
can't,
fair.
You can't put a number on it.
That's fair. That's fair. I was just curious because I'm always like, I feel like 1-year-old me. I really feel like 6-month-old me, but we'll say a year. I feel like I was really just getting like my feet. Like, okay, I know what to do. I know what to expect. I know it's kind of gonna go like this or whatever. Not too like for something to take me by surprise. It has to be something like I've not seen before or like it's an emergency going on.
Yeah.
Like being on the same unit. I feel like at 1 year I was kind of like, okay, this is kind of how it's gonna go, and I was okay. So that's why I was curious.
I feel like you should have a little bit of experience before you go back to your master, especially if it's the NP, just because, you know, at least you should have an idea of what's going on. I've heard that people just graduate and go straight to NP school, and it's like...
I know, that's why I was asking her about the experience,
I don't
because I'm
think
like,
it's
you
a
don't
good
even know how
But
to
then
be a
again,
nurse.
it's like I'm doing primary care, so it's a lot of stuff that we don't see at the hospital either. So a lot of it's also just like the patients will come in and they're walking, talking, and I'm like, you're fine.
There's something wrong with you, go home.
Like, I know, it's like, but you know, it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's like, it's different. It's obviously not like sepsis and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious about that because I'm like Sarah said, you do hear people like, oh, I'm going to go back to school. And I'm like, how? You're barely a nurse. Like,
right? People keep asking me when are you going back. I'm like, bro, just leave me alone for now. I just want to relax. I still have PTSD from nursing school. Like,
no, low key.
let me just get over that after I'm done with therapy, and then we can talk.
Not when I'm done with therapy. I don't think I'm going back. Like, I'm going to have like a specific job in mind that I want to do in order to go back.
Right? I don't even have that either.
I don't. But it's like, I don't know. It's weird because I'm like, I don't really know what I want to do after this. Right now, I feel like folk pool, like, that's good for me. Like, I feel like I could be a folk pool for a little bit, but eventually I'm going to want to do something else. I don't know, though. It's weird.
Bedside or?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it because I felt like I was starting to try to think about it to get an idea. But I'm like, I feel like I could do folk pool for like a couple of years. But then after the couple of years, I'm like, I'm going to have to start thinking about like what's next.
I heard like psychiatric nurse practitioner is so chill and like not a lot of work. But you have to be in a psychiatric nurse before you go to the practitioner program. That's what I heard. I'm not sure, but I was like, maybe I want something too crazy. I've seen a lot of crazy. I need a break, you know.
But could you do that then as your career and work with those patients?
You're right, for a long time. I just barely
Because if you're just
started.
thinking about the school, then yeah, that's whatever. That's temporary. But then like. Because
Yeah.
you're going to invest a lot of time and money into that. So then it's like after that, you can't just like, it's not like being a nurse where you can go, oh, let me go do PD, let me go do like.
No,
Yeah,
you're
that's
right.
true.
That's just specific. I haven't really thought about it, so I can't answer.
Yeah, there's no rush for that.
That's why I was wondering because I'm like, yeah, when you're in your master's, now I invested time and money and all that. So I'm like, I don't want it to be the way. It's like, because I don't know, y'all know, we have some people in our unit that have masters. And I'm like, what are you doing with that?
Right, that's the thing. I wouldn't want to have my master's and then just be at bedside.
It's actually a couple of nurses I know at that location that have master's degree, but they're still bedside. And I'm like, well, what was the point?
No.
Yeah.
Did they get extra pay increase?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Like not $1, but like more?
No, it's a good amount.
Okay, I'm like,
Yeah,
not
they get-
$1.
they
I'm
get-
just making sure because you know how sometimes it's like, oh, you'll get this, and then it's like it's not even a lot. Like I'm like, I need it to be like more than 5.
No,
And
the
they
others
can-
is
and then-
suspected.
they can bump up to RN4 too. That's even more.
Oh, with the masters?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was like, it has to make sense.
No,
It's not
definitely.
making sense.
Definitely. Not no dollar. Excuse me. What?
But also, it's like to go into any leadership position too, you need your master's in anything.
Yeah,
So then that
unless
also-
you're at a different type of hospital,
Does
you
Lisa
could do that
have
as a
master's?
BSN.
Oh, okay.
Who?
Lisa.
Oh yeah, but if you're like at another type of facility, you could get away with a bachelor's. I know.
Depends
that.
on the place, yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the place. Like ours is more like we're bougie.
True. But then isn't Tyrion charging and she's like Indian? I know they don't even let them look that way.
Oh, is she?
She is, but she's in school. She's almost done. That's why they're like okay with it.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
yeah. I'm about to say you have to be in school almost
Okay,
all the
okay.
time to be an alien.
Because I know they be tripping about that.
Yeah, but she's not permanent charge. She's just relief, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I think probably.
But knock is like Permanent children. I heard she's ADN too.
Oh, is she?
No, she's not.
I thought she was BSN.
Someone told me.
Because she can't be RN3 without her BSN.
She's RN3?
Are you sure?
I think so.
I don't know. Yeah, because I know you have to have your
I just know we're all working at the same time.
You have to have your certification and you have to charge your precept or something like that.
Yeah.
The project crap and
Well, you have to precept to be RN3? Oh god.
One of the
No,
other.
okay, no, you have to have like 6 points, and there's a lot of different things.
Okay.
You
Oh, yeah.
I don't have, okay.
Right, yeah.
That's not my thing.
So it's not, you don't have to do that, but you just have to get your points another way then.
Okay, then that's fine.
But you do have to have a certification though, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm missing. I'm too lazy to do it. I have
No.
everything done. I have the project and everything.
What project? From the residency?
No, like you have to do a new EBP project.
You did one already?
Is
Yeah.
that the one with the RN to PCA
Yeah.
report? That's you?
Yeah.
That they gave that up on our floor.
Huh? I mean, I don't care. It's just there though. I can use it.
Yeah, because I was trying to think about.
But no, actually, when we charge, we still do it. We'll still assign the PCAs to the nurses. But
What was your project?
better communication between RNs and PCAs.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of assigning the PCAs like this room to this room, we'd assign them to nurses. So we'd be like, okay, you have Sarah, Numa, and Lainey today. And so then we also told them like, hey, in the morning, like give a little quick handoff to your PCA, like, hey, by the way, this space is on continuous Lasix, because that's probably not something that the PCAs talk about, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then as a nurse, you should probably tell them that or something like that.
I think that's actually a good idea. Just our floor, they're just like so nonchalant about things, but that's a good idea.
I mean, we still assign them, and I mean, unless there's something for me to say, I'm not gonna come up to you and give you like a stupid report. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I will still come up and find my PCAs and say, hey, this changed or that changed or whatnot.
So we're gonna have a fun day and stuff like that.
But it's like in the morning,
I actually was thinking about that because of remember last time how we talked about the crash cart with the pre-filled syringe, the medications. Do you remember we were talking about running codes and we were like, oh, we're trying to do math on the syringe at the time? Remember when we did that?
Oh, we're intubating that patient.
Yeah, and then remember we were like, why don't they have the crash cart with the syringes already pre-filled so you don't have to be like half of that?
It's because it's based on weight.
Oh.
I thought that was only for PD.
No, because what we were giving was a sedative and a paralytic.
Oh, no, not for the intubation kit. I'm talking about in the crash cart. Because you know how in the crash cart you have to assemble it, but it's not always like...
Oh, you're saying why isn't it assembled?
That, and why isn't it already the regular dose that you would guess it would be because it's part of like ACLS protocol?
They are all the same dose. Like it's 1 milligram epi. What are you talking about?
No, because one of them you have to...
Unless you're thinking of like...
No, is it sodium bicarb or is one of the other kind that it's like, okay... Yeah, it's some other kind that is not like set, but also the assemble part too. Maybe it's cheaper. I don't know. But I'm saying
the assemble part is because there's like two, like you have you noticed the needle, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's to directly. I don't know what you're supposed to do, but there's like a needle option and there's also like a push option too, like a lure
the lure lock. Yeah.
So I think that's why it's like assemble it because they don't know what you need.
Yeah.
Maybe so. Okay. But I remember we were talking about that last time. So I had thought about it the other day and I was like, huh. But people don't really even know how to use a crash cart, to be honest. Didn't Onyeka have a project about that? Or his was just about code blue?
It was code blue.
It was like a code blue. Like,
after code blue.
Yeah, after the code blue.
Oh, never mind.
Nog and Angela for their RN3 had the crash cart thing.
Okay. What did they, I didn't even know that they did that because Angela already had her certification when we started because I started with her.
Yeah, it's just for the RN, like the project for the RN3.
No, I know. I'm saying I didn't know she did it already.
Yeah.
What did they do theirs on?
They pretty much like Nog would stay over and do like a little quick in-service with all the like staff, like day shift and night shift, and like go over all the parts of the crash cart and whatnot. And then they did like a mock code where they
wait. So they just reviewed what's in the crash cart?
Yeah, that was their. I don't know what the whole project or what the PICO question or whatever it was.
Okay.
But that's what she would do, and then we had a mock code where like Joseph brought up like a dummy and all that kind of stuff, and we had an educator from the ICU come and whatnot.
Oh, I didn't know.
Well, I guess isn't everybody ACLS certified or no?
No.
Everyone who's an IMU nurse.
I don't even think they check that when you give the IMU patients.
No, we do.
Y'all do?
Yeah, because if there's like if there's like a nurse that like we don't normally assign, like in our charge nurse group, we'll text and be like, can this like nurse have IMUs? And then Lisa will be like, no, they haven't taken the test. I mean
the class. Okay, that makes more sense now because I was like, I don't know sometimes.
I've done IMU before, but it's like low level IMUs, and I don't have my ACLS, but I'm trying to get it.
ACLS is cool. I like it. I mean, it's really helpful when you're having codes and stuff. Like it's like I feel like you're less scared. Would you say the same?
I'm always scared on the inside.
I think so too. I feel like you
I
can't
don't be as
Especially
scared.
when it's my patient.
Same.
If it's y'all's, I'm chilling. I'm helping.
I don't be as scared. I'd be like, okay, I kind of have an idea how this is gonna go, but that just might be because I've seen. So
No, but it's
many.
like I know what's like I know the stuff in the cart, but I'm like, what the hell's happening to you? Why are you coding?
No, I think it's just
That's the
communicating
difference.
me.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
that's
it's not. Well, maybe when you become an NP, but I'm like, it's not my job to figure out why you're coding. My job is just to do the things. Look at
Why is this happening?
Yeah, I'm like, that's not my job. Do you want to go over the S and T's? Is that what it's called? Like
The H and T's.
H and T's, hypothermia, hypoglycemia, tamponade. That's not my job. By this time, the nurse practitioner or the doctor should already be there.
Yeah.
My job as an ACLS nurse is just to get the shit started. 1 milligram of epi.
First thing you can do at least is just start a bag of fluids if you don't know what else to do. Just run it open.
That just reminded me of me yelling at I was call that boy Seth. His name is Andrew. Open the bag of fluids already. I don't know, people are weird.
His patient was coding?
Oh yeah, that was his patient actually. You were there, right, Noma?
Which one?
They were in an enclosure bed.
No, I wasn't there, but I heard
Was
about
that
it.
close to his patient?
Oh
No.
that's a different time.
Oh, I wasn't there, but I heard about it.
See, that's why I said I think I've been to too many at this point that I'm kind of like, oh shit, it's happening again. So it's kind of like I'm like triggered. I'm like, oh, well, here we go. But more recently, I had an experience. I don't know if I ever told y'all about this when I was in the ER. I think that was actually our ER I was at. So I told, oh yes, because I was talking to you about it. Oh my god! So maybe I didn't tell Nama. My patient, we're doing what's it called? The orthostatic vital signs.
Mm-hmm.
So she came in because she was having dizziness and lightheadedness and stuff like that. So we did the orthostatic vital signs on her. She passed out on the tech when she stood up. So of course I didn't know this because I'm like outside. I'm like telling the tech like, oh hey, like when you go in there next, can you do the vital signs orthostatic? And she's like, okay. So I hear her screaming and like she's like passed out. Yes. So she's like passed out, and I'm thinking something's wrong. Well, something was wrong, but I thought she died or something.
Yeah, even worse.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh my god, like. And then she's like holding her up, like she's like on her, and the husband's like holding her up, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? Because I'm like from outside,
and
I'm like, what is this? And so she's like freaking out. So the husband's the one telling me.
Oh god.
I don't know. She just was standing up and got the vital signs, and she passed out. And the text goes, and I'm like, okay, and lay her down. Put her back in the bed. Like, first things first.
I know,
check her pulse.
Yeah, that's what I was like, okay, check her pulse. And she's just like still freaking out. And at this point, I'm just like, get out the room. Because I'm like, my brain is not, it's frazzled.
Yeah. You compare two people at the same time trying to do a cool.
So I feel like I'm not even good with pulses. I feel like didn't you do a femoral pulse one time?
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't do that shit. Like,
honestly, I'm just like, what the fuck?
No, it's not for me. So I was like, fuck, why is it me having to find the pulses? So I'm just like, because I just feel like I'm not good at that. But luckily I found it. I was like, ooh, yes, this works. She had a pulse, and then like I aroused her sternal rub, and I'm like, okay, she's not dead, thank God. So that's what I was concerned about. But by that time, I was like telling the tech, like, just go find help. It's the ER,
Yeah.
So they coming in, they thinking it's about to be a cold, and she was okay. But I was just like, wow. I don't know. My heart, I was like, what's going on? It's worse walking into something than just like, I feel like being in the room.
I had that same experience, but I was at the clinic for my clinicals, and I used to come in earlier than the doctor. Like, he would take his sweet ass time coming in, but I would come in early so I could look at all the charts and stuff. And the MAs would, they would schedule patients to get like their routine blood work done in the morning before we started seeing patients, and then they would just like get their blood work done and leave. So she would ask me for help to draw blood on patients too, because she was new at it and she knew I was a nurse. So I was like, okay, I'm like okay with helping. So I'm in one room getting blood from a patient, and she's in another room getting blood from a patient. Me and her and the office manager are the only three people in the clinic at this point. She comes in and I'm like, I have the needle in the guy, and she goes, "Can you come into the next room?" And I was like, "No."
Do you see what I'm doing?
Yeah. And she goes, "I need you to come into this room." And I was just like, "Okay, well then can you switch spots with me?" And she's like finishing up on him, and I go in, and then the husband's like, "Yeah, she just passed out." And yeah, same thing. She's literally cold on the like laid back. She's pale as hell. She's diaphoretic, and I was just like, "This is my worst nightmare." And then the husband was like, "I think she had a seizure. She looked like she was seizing." And I was like, "Has she ever had one?" And he was like, "No." So then I was like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, and mind you, this place, like, I don't have a vital sign machine, like, I don't have IV, like, I don't have I don't have her history, you know, you're literally flying blind here.
Oh my god.
So I did a fucking manual blood pressure on this lady.
Dang, talk about a throwback.
Oh my god, and like, I did it like 3 times, because it kept coming like 70 over something. And it pretty much just seemed like either she had a seizure or she vagaled really bad, because she was like in that, like, she looked like she was in a post-ictal phase, but like maybe she was just really, I don't know. So the MA at this point is calling the actual doctor, and he's just like, was the NP student there? And then she was like, yeah, and he was like, okay, that's fine, she'll take care of it. And I'm like,
oh my god,
don't set me up.
So then at this point, I've already called 911 too, because I'm like, I can't do anything for her here. I don't.
Yeah,
like,
you don't have the resources. Yeah.
And then they also did her blood pressure and EKG and stuff. And at that point, her blood pressure was like 60 over something. So they just took her to the ER. And then I remember I also happened to be at the clinic when she did her follow-up. And like they ruled her out, you know, like the CT of the head and stuff. And they just pretty much said it was like vagal from getting stuck.
So she didn't wake up before the ambulance came?
She was just extremely lethargic. When I tried to ask her questions, like, you know, she wouldn't really like answer. She was just kind of like pale, diaphoretic.
That's
like,
so scary.
Yeah.
That is so scary.
And to think I'm the only big brain in that office.
I know. That is even more scary. I'd probably panicking. Oh my gosh.
That's hot. I'm like, yeah, call 911. I don't know what to do here. Actually, one time when I was at church, there was this lady that passed out on the stage. I was like, oh. So everyone knows I'm a nurse. I'm going to the restroom. I'm trying to go pee. Before this happened, I had no clue. I just see people
they're like this lady
huddled around the stage and stuff. And then my mom's like, I think you need to go in there. I'm like, oh no, there's lots of people up there. That's fine. I'm like, they're grown adults. Like maybe they know something, or maybe it's another nurse. I don't know. Yeah. So then my brother, he's a tech, he's in nursing school, and then his girlfriend, she just graduated and she's a nurse too. So they're up there, and I'm like,
good enough.
Yeah, I'm over here looking like, do I really need to go up there? So I just went up there because my mom was like, just go up there. So why everybody up there, like nobody was doing anything. Like they were just crowding around the lady.
Oh my god.
I know, and there was.
As like a bystander, you can at least like put a little like cold pack, like fan her, try to wake. Like quite things you could do. Quite
the opposite. Someone was laying on top of her.
What?
I don't know what was going on. So here I am trying not to cuss out the church people. I'm like, get off of her. And then I'm like, all these people around, I'm like, get off the stage, move. Like I came in and I'm like, the same thing. I'm like,
that I'm here, I don't know what to do.
I'm like, I'm at church. Like, is she dead? Is she not dead?
Like, I can't do anything without like supplies.
Exactly. Yeah, she talked back. She was just like lethargic and stuff. Well, I wouldn't even say lethargic. She was just like, you know, when they're like, yes. Like, you know, like it's like weak responses. Yeah. So I was just like, okay, well, she's alert and oriented. Okay. So then the other problem was trying to get her up. So then, like, they had a wheelchair. I didn't even know we had all this equipment at my church. They brought a wheelchair out of somewhere, and we got her in a wheelchair, and I had someone call the ambulance. At first, they didn't even want to call the ambulance. They're talking about, we're going to take her home. I said, oh, no. She's passed out, and you want to take her home? Like she's gonna die. Like, home. Who knows what's wrong with her? So then, someone called the ambulance. The ambulance came, and they came and picked her up. But I'm like, in situations like that, I'm like, there's not much I can do.
I know, right? Like all those movies where they're on the plane and they're like, is there a doctor or nurse in here? Okay, but like, what would I do when I'm here?
I think planes do have like a decent amount of supplies.
I do.
Yeah, but then again, like.
But you're in the air, so after you've done vital signs and everything else, so at that point it's kind of like, okay, what, emergency landing? Like.
Yeah.
I guess that's sex. Yeah, emergency landing.
Depends
like,
on what it is.
Then what? I gotta go with her to give report. Like, how does that work?
Hand off the EMS.
Yeah, like what does that? like, hey, got her vital signs, because they're gonna do their own anyway. So I'm like, why am I even
Like, this is
you?
what I did on the plane. Now
Right.
it's your job to do
Do you
the
think
rest.
that they have like fluids on the plane?
I think
I wonder what they have. I'm sure they have to have something.
Maybe
they have
first
to
aid
have like
I'm sure they have like basic epi.
at
and
least
that
for
kind of
like
stuff.
diabetic stuff. They probably have like stuff to
Dextrose.
give them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
because I'm like, it's a lot of diabetics nowadays. I feel like they have something like that. Of course, first aid
Throw the
kit.
little pretzel pack at them.
I feel like they have to have like a AED type thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
a lot
I'm
of
like-
places have that.
Yeah, I'm like, everywhere
Okay.
has that now, but who knows? I'm like, don't call me.
When I'm on vacation, I'm not a nurse. I always tell that, like, don't ask me anything. I have a glass in my hand. I don't know what's going on. Don't ask me.
Do you know how scared I am? Like something bad's gonna happen when I'm on vacation, like an injury, or you have to go to a hospital. I'm like, I don't want to go to a hospital in Mexico.
Like you or someone like a bystander.
No, I don't. Oops, sorry. Don't care about the other people. I'm talking about me or like somebody that's with me.
Okay, yeah,
you
especially in a
know?
different country.
Yeah, in a different
Absolutely,
country.
yeah.
I'm like, oh shit. Like, can you fly me back to America? Like,
My
Yeah.
sister got sick when we were in Dubai, so we had to go to the hospital. I was just like, wow.
how was it?
She got better, but
No, how was the hospital in Dubai?
it actually wasn't bad. You know what? They call everyone sisters. I'm like,
I mean,
sisters.
there's like a language barrier. There's so
No,
many
they
differences.
spoke English.
Oh, really?
Yeah, most people spoke English.
Luckily, I feel like most places speak English.
It's a tourist country, so you know most
True.
people speak English. So
Okay.
But I kept calling sister, brother, like you call your coworker, oh brother, can you get me the saline flush? I was like, what the hell?
Really?
It's so weird.
Did they have like the same type of equipment as us here?
I don't remember.
I wonder if their
Super focused on my
parameters
sister.
are the same for like treatment.
I wasn't
and
even
stuff
aware
like
of
that
that,
stuff.
so-
Oh, you weren't
we
paying
go
attention.
we go based off of like the American Diabetic Association, or we go based off
Oh,
like the
that
American
is
Cancer
true.
Association. We have certain like criteria based on American things. So like I wonder, like, what if they're just like looking at my blood pressure, chilling, like we don't got a treater yet? And I'm like,
And they
yeah,
probably
we
use
do.
like different conversions, like you know how we use milligrams, and they're probably like 4 ounces of morphine. I'm just giving out. I don't know what exactly, but you know it's different. Like in London, their conversion is not the same as ours. They use different ones, so that's gonna be a whole different thing there. But I don't even remember. This was like in 2016, so it was. Nobody wants to be sick on a vacation because then
No.
it ruins your vacation, and then you're panicking, and you're just like, first of all, I'm not even home.
I know, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I gotta pay out of pocket for this? Like,
yeah.
It was out of pocket.
Who knows how much? it
oh
costs.
my
They
goodness.
asked us to pay like it wasn't even that expensive compared to America.
Yeah, I was gonna say nothing.
I'm
to get worse
sure,
than there.
It
but
was
it's just-
$5,000.
It's just like weird. Like, I think it's just everything is different, and you're unfamiliar, and you're like in an unknown
I was scouting for
territory.
sugar daddies. I was like, where is this man? They've been talking about
Sarah and her
Sarah,
sugar
remember?
daddy.
Yeah.
Sugar. I mean, Sarah's steak trying to get a sugar daddy.
so I don't have to work so much.
This girl. If you're a sugar daddy out there, Sarah's looking for you.
Hit me up.
Another thing I wanted to talk to y'all about that I mentioned earlier was like, how do y'all feel about like our company calls it PSN, so that's
Patient safety net.
yeah. So that what that is for people who don't know, basically that's something that we report to if there's like a kind of like a near miss event. Would you say, like a medication error, or it could be anything
For
that
safety.
yeah, it
If
could
a
be
patient
anything.
like AMA, it's like literally anything.
Yeah, that could cause. Yeah, so I'm like, do y'all feel like that's like snitching?
Not necessarily. I don't think it's snitching, especially if it's something like, oh, this could have harmed me or the patient. I feel like, you know, you don't even have to call names. You can just be like, oh, this happened, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll look into it. I don't think it's snitching necessarily. I don't think it's snitching.
I don't
No,
know.
because-
Some of them can be snitching, like, oh, you know what, Lainey did not pay this bank and it's been 4 hours. Lainey didn't, that one's snitching. You're
No,
like,
sometimes the PSNs are pretty like petty and stupid.
Yeah.
But then the managers like will filter through it, and then it's their responsibility to then address it with their
Yeah.
staff. So in one way, it can be good because, I mean, you might not know that you missed something or whatnot, and that's like a good like teaching opportunity. Or in another way, it could be like the manager will review it and be like, you know, call the person in who wrote the PSN and was like,
What is
I don't
this?
you can get in
Yeah.
trouble
'Cause
for
they're-
PSN, right? Like, if you say something that happened like a near miss, oh, I almost gave this instead of this, you're not going to get in trouble.
No, it's supposed to be something where it's like they become aware that it's like a loop or something like that. Like, kind of like they become aware that something like this is something that could possibly go wrong. Like, if it's enough people
Yeah.
talking about the same thing, it's like, oh, this
that's
is
when they start doing those
a
kinds of
protocol.
projects. and
Yeah, like
stuff.
a protocol or something needs to be developed for this. Like, a lot of people are encountering this, but I feel like a lot of people don't use it. One, because who wants to take the time out to
so
fill it out?
It is.
Yeah, it's not as bad as I thought because I just did one yesterday. But that, and then I think that people think that it's like snitching. I feel like.
I think it's snitching.
No, and I feel like people think it's supposed to be like one of those like worst case scenarios when like a patient codes, then you do a PSN, but it can be like for little things too.
Yeah, I don't think it's snitching.
I don't know. I feel like, damn, like I'm about to get somebody in trouble.
I mean, some of them can be super petty.
I'd be feeling like that. I'd be feeling like, oh, I'm gonna get somebody in trouble. But I'm like, somebody needs to know. Because then I'm like, what if they don't know? I'm like, I don't see the nurse or whatever. And then I feel like sometimes people don't take seriously what you say. Like, you be like, oh, hey, like, you weren't supposed to, like,
Yeah,
this is
but then
like
when it
this.
comes to like when the manager has to address it with you, then you're just like, oh shoot, like.
Yeah, because I even
something.
told, of course I always tell the charge when it happens. But I'm like, I don't know how seriously they take it too.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay. So for the people out there listening and looking at this, I'm like, this came about in my head because yesterday when I was at work, I noticed that the TPN have been hanging for like 48 hours basically. So for those who don't know, TPN is supposed to be changed every 24 hours, like tubing and everything. And was it because it causes more increased chance of infection?
No, I think it just like the buildup of all the, I don't know.
I thought it was something with infection or something.
No, because you're still running it through a peripheral.
No, I meant,
That's PPN. Never mind.
I thought-
That's PPN.
I thought it was like, I don't know. We're supposed to change it every 24 hours. I didn't scrub the rest of the stuff out of my brain, but I know it's every 24 hours. I thought it was because of something for infection. But anyway, if y'all know, let us know down in the comments. But anyway, I noticed that it had actually expired like the day before.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I was trying to go back because I'm like, dang, the bag is like empty. And I needed a new one from pharmacy. So I'm like, when the heck last time they hung it?
Mm-hmm.
And it was
it
like,
shouldn't be empty on day shift.
yeah, so I was trying to figure that out. So then I went in the refrigerator and I saw, oh, there's one in here. And then I was like, oh, this was for yesterday. And I was like, okay. But then I saw the expiration date was for like earlier in my shift. So I was like, well, I can't even hang this one now, technically speaking. So I had to contact pharmacy because I'm like, what do you want me to do? But they had a order already. I don't feel like every time I see TPN this is ordered, but for this time it was ordered for me to hang D10 if there's a disruption of TPN therapy. Yeah, I don't know. I might be mixing up my years, like in where I've been at, but I don't feel like I see that all the time. But anyway, it was there, so I was like, cool. But I still had to wait because that came from pharmacy too, like the D10.
But that patient's a little different too, because that's on tube feeding, right?
Yeah. I mean, that was more complex, but I'm like, I don't know what that's supposed to be about. So I'm like, let me just let the people know. But plus, for me, more so, it's more of like a education opportunity because I'm like, maybe the nurse doesn't know it's every 24 hours. I don't know. Yeah. So I told the charge nurse or whatever, but then I was like, I'm gonna put PSN in because I don't know. I just feel like I'm about to start putting PSNs for stuff I see.
But then also, I mean, actually, I don't know if our PSNs are a part of the patient record. I think they might be.
I don't think they are. They're not.
Okay, never mind. So I was gonna say, like with that patient, the family, like with how they are. If it is somehow like recorded, even if it's Methodist's records, like if something happens and they say like, oh, X, Y, and Z happened, they might see that, oh, Lainey put a PSN in. She got it.
They don't have access to it. It's just in a hospital.
Well, yeah, the hospital will know.
Yeah, at least the
is
hospital
what
has
is
a
what
record,
number is saying. Yeah, because it's on record. Because I've done that before. Normally, I feel like it's for falls. You'll do a PSN for.
Yeah.
And then AMAs. And then
that's the most common one that people know.
Right, yeah. And I've done one before for that time with telemetry. I think that might be the only time that I've done one.
I've done one before.
And I did the one with the heparin I told y'all about. Yeah. I mean, not the heparin, the DVT. Because I feel like that was like, come on. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But that's why I feel like it's snitching because I'm like, oh, if someone does something bad, I'm like reporting it.
It can be a teachable moment. I don't really think it's snitching because at the same time, we're here to learn. Sometimes people just like miss little stuff. So, especially the TPN, not everybody knows about that. So I think it's a teachable moment.
But even if the nurse knew about it, it might have just been something that he was like being maybe careless with. Maybe he was having a bad day. But either way, it should be acknowledged because I would want to know if I missed something that simple, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay with learning stuff, but I feel like when other stuff happens, like I don't feel as comfortable with telling somebody like, hey, like basically like you fucked up type thing. Because I'm like, I feel like we're on the same level. I feel like if it's a brand new nurse, it's a little bit different because I can be like, oh, hey, by the way, just so you know, this, that, and the third. And they're like, oh, okay, for the most part. I've had one time be like, oh, and I'm like, take this seriously. Hello? Like, I'll be trying to put you on game. You don't want to be out here like the rest of these people. I'm not trying to go to jail. Okay? Like, I might tell me, but I feel like they didn't take it seriously. So I'll be like, I don't know. I feel like when I was like charging or something and I tell people stuff, then it's like, oh, okay, well, the charge nurse is saying something, but I feel like when it's just like another staff person, it's just like,
it's like she's just running her mouth.
Like,
I would
whatever.
really appreciate someone telling like, oh, you didn't do this or you didn't lock in, just whatever. Because again, I'm still fairly new, even though it's been 15 months. I would like someone to tell me because I don't want to end up with that lady, that court case lady that they're trying to send to jail with the first cert, whatever. Just I'd rather you tell me. Nobody become embarrassed. I mean, at the same time, if you're telling someone, you don't have to be like mean and disrespectful about it. You just be like, hey, you know, you didn't do this, and so just something simple because people make mistakes. So
then I was like, damn, every time I come on this damn unit, I find something. And I'm like, I feel like they're gonna be like, damn, every time. Because last time I was on the unit, it was the thing with the ACHS and how she got the blood sugar after, I told her to get it before. Then she let the patient eat. Well, this was my problem with this. Okay, so let me tell y'all so y'all can have context. So last time I was on the unit, I might have told y'all, but I'm talking about them.
I don't think you told me about this.
Okay, so y'all friend, the tech that y'all don't like, I told her my patient's ACHS, right? So I said, okay, make sure you check the sugar or whatever and let me know what it is. So they ordered their dinner and she brought the dinner into for them, didn't check the blood sugar because she said that the patient really wanted to eat. And I said, do you know the whole point of taking the blood sugar is to check it before they eat? And
she's the one who like delivered the tray to them.
Yes,
right?
That's what made it worse.
She said they really wanted to eat. Okay.
Because it's not like you walked in and they were already eating. You're like down. No, like you brought them the tray. She made it seem like oh, I want to eat right now.
It's out of her control. Like she literally delivered the food into her mouth.
And you had your stuff with you to do the blood sugars, but you didn't do it because they really wanted to eat. And I was just like,
it's not really an excuse.
Yeah, so, but that's what made it worse because I'm like, that's why I was like, maybe she don't know. I've been trying to give people the benefit of the doubt because it's gonna like upset me. Like if I would rather you be stupid, I would. I would rather you just be dumb. I'm like, hey, did you know that the point of the blood sugars is to check it before they eat? And I was like, this alters like how much insulin I give them. So I'm like, say I didn't know that she ate and you just took the sugar and I see it sky high, which it had been for most of the shift. I give them, like, if it's above, 300, 12. You give 12 units, and then you have to call the MD. So what if, based off of the results I got, they ordered an extra 8 units of Lispro or something like that, and they had to give, 20 units of Lispro. This has happened before.
I know.
So I'm like, okay, so what if I did that, and it's like a false result because of what you did?
That's true.
That's what I think about because I just be like, worst case scenario. You never know. That's what, when people die and stuff like that, it's always the worst case scenario. So I'm like, okay, I don't know. But she's like, yeah, I knew that. And I was just like.
She said I knew that?
She knew. And I was just like.
Okay.
My mind was blown. So I emailed our manager about it. And she was like, oh, thanks for letting me know. But I'm like, I don't know how seriously people be taking what I say. But I'm like, I feel like every time. I've always said something, and I'm like, oh, they're like, she's trouble. I just feel like that.
They're probably like, oh, lady sent an email.
Here she go. Like, here she go again. There goes Lainey. She's coming back to the unit. How you know? Oh, because I got an email about it. But I just be like, do people not know what's going on? I don't know.
I hear that. It's so funny.
So y'all feel like it's fine? I don't know why I feel self-conscious about that.
PS setting?
I think it's fine.
No, yeah.
It depends. Some things I like, I'm not going to say anything, but some things I think they're self-awareness, it's also a teachable moment. So.
I mean, for me, it has to be something like pretty. Like, I'm not going to PSN if the nurse forgot to give the levothyroxine at 5 and asked me to give it at 7. Like, stuff like that, I'm not going to. But if it's like pretty significant, then yeah, I will.
What would you say is significant?
Like, let's say there was like a metoprolol at 6 a.m. that was due and they didn't give it and the patient is like here for like AFib, RVR, and the heart rate is starting to go up. Something like that. I don't know.
I had one time. The patient came from the ER. This vanc was due at like 12. The patient came at like 4:30, not hanged. I was so pissed. They did not give half the medicines. And I was like, what's going on? I know that ER can be busy. I floated there before, but like... 4 or 5 hours.
Especially when those patients come in with like crazy cellulitis or sepsis.
Yes.
It's like you're not even starting anything.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like I was like, I'm gonna start PSNing because there's so many times I don't know if I did one this time, but one time a patient came in with fever, like sepsis. Fever is like 103 or something, and nobody gave Tylenol, even how to order for Tylenol. Like, I'm about to start PSNing
Yeah,
for
that's
something.
kind of crazy.
Because I'm like, that's what you came in for, and you didn't even address it.
I feel
Right,
like
so
they're
then what
so
did you
in a
do?
hurry to send the patient up, and they're just like, get this patient up. It doesn't matter. Just send them up. They always do that.
And I feel like I understand a little bit more because I've been in ER a lot lately, but some stuff is just inexcusable. Like, I'm like, if they came in for these type of symptoms and you didn't even initiate the process, I feel like that's a problem.
Yeah.
It's like you have 4 patients down there, but it's like I also have 4 patients up here. So you're saying that in 8 hours you didn't do anything for that patient. Would it be acceptable for me not to do anything?
And that's what I think is crazy too. And then like I've been finding out a lot like down there, like, oh, maybe not at our ER. Ours I think is a little bit better, but at the ER I have been working at, there'll be troponins that's like 8 hours in between. And I'm like, come on, really? Like lactic acids and stuff. Y'all know this every 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm like, again, like with the ACHS, you know that alters the results, right? Like, that's why I just be like,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm about to start putting everything in. Because I just be like, how are we finding out? Like, you did a troponin at 0400 and now I'm getting the patient at 1200 and it's not a second troponin yet. I just think that's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'm glad to know y'all don't think I'm a snitch. Because I was like, I be feeling like I'm a snitch. But I'm like, why is no one taking this seriously?
Right.
But us?
That ER event, the only reason I was upset because it was already time for the next dose. So it was just like,
At this point, they missed a dose.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
I feel like we always get in trouble. We as in staff nurses, like bedside nurses, get in trouble more than everybody else about like little dumb stuff.
true.
But I'm like, I don't see it on the other side.
And then more than half the time, it's not our fault. It's like,
Yeah, and everybody expects so much from us. We have to do the doctor's jobs. Our social worker is great, but some floors you have to do everything.
Oh yeah, ours is great. But yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
I think I floated one time. They were asking me. Nobody answered. You know, at least the doctors be like, "Oh, how long do you think this patient will be here?" And they just wanted me to answer all the questions. I'm like, "Can you all chime in, MD? Like, how long do you think this patient will be here?" They were just waiting for me to answer everything. "Oh, what do you think, Sarah? How long is this patient will be here?" I'm just like, "Okay, well, this." And I literally did the entire rounds myself, and nobody like imputed or said anything. I was just like, "Okay, well, I guess." So that's a little different. But at least our floor, you know, we have people chime in and say, "Oh, we're gonna do this. I want to do an extra test," and then the case manager's like, "Oh, if I have to put in a stiff referral, it's gonna take 2 more days." You know, but,
Yeah.
I feel like some places do handle that like a little bit better than others. But I'm just like, I just don't understand. Like, I feel like I said, I just feel like we get in trouble for like every little thing, and other people like their stuff falls through the cracks, and I'm like, it's just me out here. Oh, okay, ain't nobody micromanaging y'all. Like, why are y'all like, what is happening here? Because I feel like with us, it's like every little thing. Like even the thing with telemetry, I'm like, do y'all get reprimanded because you didn't notify me about this? That's why I put the PS in for them. I'm like, okay, how long has the patient been in AFib RVR? Like, it'd be stuff like that. I'm like,
right.
And they go
any
for the
other,
stupidest
yes,
stuff.
I'm like, any other time, oh, the right lead is off. Oh, the right lead is still off. Oh, are they in the restroom? Where are they at? They're not on telemetry. But when it's,
Battery change.
yes, or when it's serious stuff, I'm like, where are you at?
Well, there was one time they called a code. It wasn't a code blue. It was a Dr. Quick, but they called a code blue. So I ran there because I was in the break room. And then Telly was like, "Oh, I know they called a code blue, but the left lead is off." And I was like, "What the fuck? Like, what am I supposed to do? Oh, please stop chest compressions. Let me fix this left lead because Telly called." I was so annoyed by that. Like, why are you telling me this? You know we're working on this patient. So that was a little irritating. But like you said, like if you needed to call me when the patient was assistedly, you did it. You call me now that we're already like in the middle of shit.
Oh, fair point. Yeah, so I just be like, what the hell?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, I'm going to pull our last card. Maybe it should be a good one.
Did you come up with all these?
Yeah.
Oh,
Things
really?
I do when I'm broke.
That's a lot of questions, though.
Yeah, things
Or
I
do they
do when
repeat?
no, they don't.
Dang.
Things I do when I'm bored at work. Those are for y'all to keep, by the way.
Oh,
I don't know when y'all use them again, but hey.
The card?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what are 3 must-have items you bring to work?
For me or for the patients?
For you. For me, I'm going to say my AirPods.
AirPods and chargers. I feel like that goes together. For me.
Drink.
Water?
I'm drinking.
But yeah, beverages like my
Let me say
Red,
beverages
my
so people
Red
don't
Bull,
think
my
I'm talking
coffee.
about
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like, what?
She
Sarah,
drinks at work?
what do you have in your locker? Like,
No, a beverage.
mine is my AirPods.
Oh, lunch.
Scissors.
I can get scissors from
Yeah.
I mean, we could get the scissors from the thing,
I'm
but
gonna
I
say
use
lunch.
my scissors a lot. You said
Okay.
lunch?
Yeah.
You go first. What are your 3?
No, it feels like everything I'm gonna say is food. I'm gonna let you go first.
The beverage, lunch.
I know, like damn.
Yeah, for me it's my beverages, my water, my coffee, my Red Bull, and then
All of
AirPods.
those.
And then my AirPod and charger, and then my lotion.
Lotion.
My hands get so dry. You see me with my full side. I literally sit down.
I didn't even see you have the lotion.
No, I've seen it.
Yeah,
I asked her to
and
get my hands.
everybody will use it too. So I'm like, y'all
No, that's a
appreciate
legit
me for
thing
this.
because it's from washing your hands every 5 minutes, your hands get dry and ashy. So that is good. I have mine too, but mine just finished. I need to restock.
I'm gonna say my AirPods because I be feeling like I'm dead. I'm like, dang, I can't listen to nothing.
I need to listen to that when I'm charting, especially because I
Yes, I need my AirPods. I'm gonna say my scissors still because even if if I need the scissors, then I have to go look for them. But I always have them on me. So like even when I'm trying to open like pill packages and stuff like that, it's not like let me go get the scissors out the thing. It's just already there, so I just like cut everything. IV bags, it's always something to cut.
Yeah.
Armband, something.
Yeah.
So I need my scissors. What else? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna just say my water because my throat be dry by the end of the shift.
I know. I forget to drink water sometimes.
What's yours?
For me,
All food related.
no, you're not lying. For me, beverage, lunch, and then I like to have my Apple Watch because I like to count my steps and know how many feet or how long my step was the entire day. So I like
That'll probably be mine when I get my Apple Watch
Yeah.
because I like to see too.
I only wear mine to work too, so I like it for work.
And then my heart rate too. Like when patients are stressing me, I'm like, I'm not getting paid enough for this. Look at you.
So before we close the episode, we scrub and sip. So we scrub like a negative nursing experience we had, and then we sip to a good one.
I'm gonna go last because you go.
You need to think.
You go first, yeah.
Me? You said me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like I'm like me. I think I already had mine during the episode. I'm scrubbing ain't shit ass nurses.
Scrub them up.
Thank you.
Let me think of more. What are you sipping to?
What am I sipping to? That is the question. Oh, you know what I'm scrubbing? I'm scrubbing my shift yesterday where I had to float to all these different units.
Yeah.
I was so pissed. I was like, can
were
you
pissed.
pick a spot for me to go or send me home?
That'd
I
be
was
super
so
annoying,
mad. I went to like 4 different units yesterday. Then I called the director to see.
I know you were so upset.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, so how it works with float pools, that if the hospital don't need you, they'll try to find like you a spot like somewhere else in one of the facilities you float to. But of course nobody needs me at that point because it's 1 o'clock.
Right.
They still didn't want to
fair
send me
enough.
home. They're talking about, oh, well, we help in whatever capacity the hospital needs it. So then they were going to try to have me be a tech on our unit. And I'm like, you know how many times they work with 2 techs?
Right.
But they had 3, but then she was going to leave at 3. But she was going to get her vitals and stuff before she left. So I was like, they're fine. But then they ended up needing a sitter for that patient. So I ended up doing that. But I'm like, girl.
Yeah, to get bounced around.
I didn't have any patients the whole shift until 4 o'clock where I became a sitter. And I was 1-to-1.
Yeah,
Right after lunch, I remember.
I was just like, what the hell? So I'm really scrubbing that because that annoyed the crap out of me. Did y'all think of one in the interim?
Yeah, I'm scrubbing nurses who go to NP school without any experience. Like, what are y'all doing? You don't know nothing.
Shots fired.
But
Okay, what are you sipping to?
what are you scrubbing, Sarah?
Oh, I thought you have to say both. I'm scrubbing to bad working conditions. Like when you come in and you're just short-staffed, charger's not helping out. They're just randomly doing stuff. They're not even thinking about it. That can be very frustrating, especially when you start your day and they're just randomly doing stuff and you have to figure out. Instead of the chargers helping you out, you're figuring out your own stuff. So I'm scrubbing that.
Oh, that reminded me of that shift you had that
Yeah.
you messaged us about. I said, damn, Sarah's blowing up the group chat.
I was pissed that day. I was
But
like,
that day was crazy.
It was.
Did you talk about that to somebody?
To y'all?
No, didn't we tell her to do something
We told
about
you to
that?
talk to our manager.
Oh, it was a weekend and I was off and then,
Yeah,
No, but that was crazy because then you had, okay, y'all, so she had to make her own assignment
that was a
between
shit show.
her and the nurse.
It was like, figure it out. I was like, what do you mean figure it out? This is your job to figure it out. If I want to figure it out, I'm not going to take any patients at all. Like,
Who would have known that he would have turned into that kind of charge nurse?
I'm not surprised.
You're
All the
not?
men are like that. All the men charge nurse are like that.
I heard he was a good nurse. Like
He was a good nurse, so that's why I'm like, I don't understand what happened.
I am going to generalize. All men charge nurses are like that. We've seen that before.
I didn't.
Oh, the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
I heard about it, but I didn't really like experience it.
She wasn't there that long as a nurse for him.
You weren't there as a nurse, but yeah.
I mean, but he at least made the damn assignment.
Right? Don't let me just figure it out. Like, oh.
And then to tell you to figure it out, I bet he wouldn't have said that shit to me. I'd probably kill him. Figure it out? You want me to figure it out? I probably like went crazy on him. You figure it out? You know what? Give me all the walkie-talkies. That's me figuring it out.
Right?
Let me switch this whole
You
schedule
start
around.
arguing like, oh, I want 76. Oh no, but I had some 76. Oh, there's like.
Too bad he told me to figure it out. It's my patient now.
That was really stupid.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm sipping to having Sydney as my tech yesterday. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
You know how helpful it is just to call somebody? Because now I have to be like, who are you? Like, what's your name? Like, I have to like, yeah, like I have to build rapport. Like sometimes I'm in the same places, so I'm like, okay, I know you'll come through for me, but like for the most part, it's like, oh, I don't know how you work and all this other stuff. Yeah. So Sydney wasn't even my tech, but of course you know how we are. Yeah. So yeah, I was like, hey, can you help me change this patient? So y'all know how we do. Yeah. So shout out to the girls.
Yeah.
What about you?
I see. What am I sipping to? I'm sipping to the PSN system.
Stop.
I don't know why I was so self-conscious about that. I was like, I feel like a snitch.
It's a great thing. Yeah. It really is.
For me, I'm sipping to great teamwork. Like, whenever I know I'm working with my girls, I'm just like, I'm going to have a good day. Even if it's going to be a shitty assignment, like, I can go talk to Numa. Well, you're not there anymore. But when you were there, we can just joke about stuff. Or
we'll meet up in the back nurse station.
Just, talk shit. So that makes the day, the 12 hours, a little better. So I'm sipping to the girls.
We don't even have anything to sip. We're going to have to take a whip shot.
That's finished, too.
Where's the big one? We need to find it.
You got stuff down there, but
I know I couldn't find it. I'm like, that's vanilla vodka. Where is it? Oh, I see it then.
This is Cardi B's?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was taking much.
Let me see.
Oh my god, it's massive. This one feels stronger.
You want one?
That's so good.
10%.
It's thick, right?
Uh-huh. It's good. I wonder how much, I guess you can't measure that. Oh, it's dairy-free? Interesting.
It's actually really good.
It tastes so good.
It's thick.
And she has all types of flavors. Well, guys, thanks for joining us for another episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it.
This was fun.
Yeah,
it's my first time.
If y'all have anything y'all want to tell us down below in the comments, just drop a comment down below and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.